You girls be careful now.
Why? You don't think we can fend for ourselves?
I can't believe you're gonna leave me to fend for myself.
Like from here on out, I was gonna have to fend for myself.
It wasn't easy, but I learned to fend for myself.
The phrase fend for oneself means to take care of yourself without relying on help or support from others. It implies being independent and managing your own needs, often in difficult situations. For example, after moving out of his parents' house, he had to fend for himself for the first time. This means he had to take care of himself and manage his life independently. Another example, when the power went out, the campers had to fend for themselves by building a fire and finding food. This shows they had to rely on their own abilities to survive without outside help. The phrase often highlights the challenges and responsibilities of being self-reliant.
You think these two lunatics are gonna protect you when the shit hits the fan? You've got another thing coming.
He'd have these big ideas, then when the shit hit the fan, he'd be nowhere to be seen.
Good to see you, Mr. President. I wish the circumstances were different, but it appears the shit has hit the fan, sir.
I just wanted to apologize about our date the other night. That was not the way that I wanted to act. I kind of really messed that one up. I kind of got away from myself, and before the shit hit the fan, I was having an amazing time.
The phrase "when the shit hit the fan" is an informal and slightly vulgar way of describing a situation where serious trouble, chaos, or conflict suddenly arises, often as a result of a problem being revealed or escalating. For example, when the boss found out about the missing money, the shit really hit the fan. This means chaos or trouble erupted when the boss discovered the issue. Another example, everything was fine until the news leaked, and then the shit hit the fan with reporters everywhere. This highlights that the situation became chaotic and problematic after the news spread. The phrase is used to emphasize the moment when things go drastically wrong, often unexpectedly. It's common in informal contexts, but should be avoided in polite or professional settings.
Is that true? Is that why you have music in your head all the time? Drown out the noise?
Yeah.
Do you know how childish you sound right now?
Oh, now I'm a child. Well, at least I'm not an idiot anymore.
The two aren't mutually exclusive.
Oh, you are such a... What the hell is he doing?
He's drowning us out. He doesn't like fighting.
So you brought headphones, right? To drown out the sound?
No.
Oh, boy. I'm really sorry for what's heading your way.
I'm sorry!
The phrase "drown something out" means to make a sound so loud that it completely covers or blocks another sound, making it hard to hear. For example, the music from the party drowned out the sound of the thunderstorm. This means the music was so loud that you couldn't hear the thunder. Another example, she tried to speak, but the crowd's cheers drowned her out. Here, the cheering was so loud that it overpowered her voice. It's often used to describe situations where a louder noise overpowers a quieter one, either literally or metaphorically.
Honey, I hate to say this, truly, but the writing is on the wall. He is on drugs.
Dad, did you hear Coach Wright is moving to Fairview?
Well, he went from 32 players to 13, so I think he saw the writing on the wall.
You know, I saw the writing on the wall. I knew you cowards would shut this project down.
If you don't sort this out, the writing is on the wall for you.
The phrase "the writing is on the wall" means that there are clear signs or warnings of an inevitable problem or failure, often something negative like disaster or the end of a situation. It suggests that the outcome is obvious to those paying attention. For example, when the company started losing major clients, the writing was on the wall for its closure. This means it became clear that the company was going to shut down. Another example, he didn't study for his exams, so the writing was on the wall when he failed. This shows that failure was predictable due to the lack of preparation. The phrase often implies ignoring or overlooking signs of trouble until it's too late. It comes from a biblical story where a mysterious message foretold the fall of a kingdom.
It is not a good time for Stefan to fly off the handle.
I have something called intermittent explosive disorder. Basically, it means I fly off the handle for no reason.
My dad drank as well, and he would fly off the handle. He would go into these rages.
Stop it. We're not going to get anywhere with you flying off the handle.
The phrase "fly off the handle" means to suddenly lose your temper or get very angry without much warning. It often describes someone reacting emotionally and impulsively to a situation. For example, he flew off the handle when he found out his coworkers had missed the deadline. This means he got very angry and reacted strongly. Another example, she tends to fly off the handle whenever someone criticizes her work. Here, it means she becomes upset and reacts angrily to criticism. The phrase suggests loss of control and is usually used in informal contexts to describe someone's sudden emotional outburst.
No one's gonna believe a girl like you would be going out with, me.
Oh, please, will you stop selling yourself short like that?
You never give yourself any credit, JT. You know that? You always sell yourself short. Don't.
I wish my dad was as cool as you.
Don't sell your dad short. He loves you more than anything in the world. You know that, don't you?
It was a smart plan. Clever. Don't sell yourself short.
The phrase sell yourself short means to undervalue or underestimate your own abilities, achievements, or worth. It often suggests that someone doesn't give themselves enough credit or fails to recognize their true potential. For example, don't sell yourself short, you're more qualified for the job than you think. This means the person should recognize their own skills and not doubt their abilities. Another example, she's always selling herself short by downplaying her achievements. Here, it means she doesn't fully acknowledge or share how much she has accomplished. The phrase is a reminder to appreciate your strengths and not underestimate what you're capable of.
Sound like you've been through a ringer.
A little.
I'm sorry for putting you through the ringer, even though you did deserve it sometimes.
Look, I know that I put Mike through the ringer, but that's why I have to talk to him, to make it right.
I was institutionalized and diagnosed with bipolar, yes.
Did it affect your acting? Did it make you more empathetic?
Been through the ringer with it for about 17 years.
The phrase through the ringer means going through a very difficult, stressful, or exhausting experience, often leaving someone feeling drained or worn out. It comes from the idea of an old-fashioned wringer, a device used to squeeze water out of clothes. For example, after dealing with back-to-back deadlines at work, I feel like I've been through the ringer. This means the person has experienced extreme stress and exhaustion. Another example, the team went through the ringer during the playoffs but managed to come out victorious. Here, it means they endured a tough, challenging time before succeeding. The phrase often emphasizes emotional or physical strain and is used to describe situations where someone has been tested or pushed to their limits.
Nadia! Nadia!
Sad! She's legging it down the back to round Fawn Road. She's wearing a grey hoodie, jeans, and she's built like a brick shithouse.
He's the one built like a brick shithouse.
You've done us, are you? Doing a bit more training, in me, son. He'll be built like a brick shithouse by the time I'm done with him.
Carl, he's 13 years old.
Exactly. That's a man in some culture, isn't it?
The phrase built like a brick shithouse is an informal and somewhat vulgar way to describe someone, usually a man, who is very physically strong, muscular, and solidly built. It emphasizes a powerful, sturdy, and imposing physique. For example, that linebacker is built like a brick shithouse, no one can get past him on the field. This means the player is extremely strong and hard to overcome. Another example, when he took off his jacket, everyone could see he was built like a brick shithouse. Here, it highlights someone's impressive, muscular build. This phrase is often used humorously or admiringly, but because of its coarse language, it's best suited for casual or informal settings.
Hey, you could talk to Liam, suss out what he thinks about me.
Absolutely not.
Great, so you'll think about it.
No, not doing it.
All right, let's go grab a drink. We'll suss out the competition.
I'm gonna go find a manager, introduce myself.
First thing we should do is take a look at the place. Suss it out.
Why be so generous to someone who he's gonna have to kill? But see, that's the thing. It was all part of Klaus's plan. He was sussing the guy out, learning his weaknesses, his strengths.
The phrase suss out means to figure something out, investigate, or discover information about a situation or person, often by observing or analyzing. For example, it didn't take long for her to suss out who was spreading the rumors. This means she quickly figured out the person responsible. Another example, before signing the contract, I need to suss out whether the deal is legit. Here, it means investigating or determining if the deal is trustworthy. It's a casual and conversational phrase, often implying careful thought or clever deduction to understand something.